Okay, could begin.
Hi everyone, we are Group 8 and today we will be discussing Chapter 13, which is Creating Vision and Strategic Direction. Next slide. This chapter consists of six main topics, which is strategic leadership, leadership vision, mission, strategy in action, the leader's contribution, and the leader's impact. Firstly, creating vision and strategic direction. Vision and strategic direction are essential components of business planning and leadership. A vision is a clear and inspiring statement that describes the long term aspirations of a business, organization, or individual. It outlines the entirety hopes to achieve in the future and serves as a guiding star for decision making. For example, Nike, which is a worldwide brand, their vision is to bring inspiring and is to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. And a local example of this is Philly Style, to redefine Caribbean fashion with a bold, modern twist that inspires confidence and cultural pride. Next slide. Strategic direction refers to the plan or approach an organization takes to achieve this vision. It involves setting goals, prioritizing resources, and defining actionable steps to ensure progress towards long term objectives. This often includes market positioning, competitive strategies, and operational tactics. Some key elements of strategic direction: mission and core values, which defines the purpose and principles, goals and objectives, which sets measurable targets, market positioning, which identifies competitive advantage, innovation and growth strategies, which plans for expansion and improvement, operational plans, which aligns day-to-day activities with strategic goals. Next slide. Next slide, please. So on to the first topic in this entire chapter, which is strategic leadership. Strategic leadership is the practice in which executives using different styles of management develop a vision for their organization that enables it to adapt or remain competitive in the changing economic and technological climate. A more detailed explanation for this is strategic planning steps, analysis of the current state, which is the SWOT analysis, which indicates the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of an organization. Define the future state, which is the mission statement that describes the future of an organization. Determination of the objectives and strategies, which is to develop a set of objectives that will lead you to the overall strategic goal or vision. Implementation and evaluation, which implements and evaluate the plan. Next slide. Long-term vision and direction is strategic leaders focus on the bigger picture, setting a clear vision for the future and developing strategies to achieve long-term objectives. Strategic decision making: they make informed decisions that align with the organizational goals, priorities, considering both internal and external factors. Adaptability and change: strategic leaders anticipate and respond to changes in the environment, ensuring the organization remains competitive and relevant. Next slide. Resource allocation and management: they effectively allocate resources, including human capital to support strategic initiatives and achieve desired outcomes. Motivating and inspiring, strategic leaders inspire and motivate their teams to work towards a common vision, fostering a culture for collaboration and innovation. Defining vision and mission. A vision is an aspirational statement of what the organization wants to become in the long term. A mission explains the organization's purpose and why it exists. Values are core beliefs and principles that guide the organization's actions. Some benefits of vision and strategic planning are a clear direction which provides a roadmap for the organization to follow. Improved focus con- which helps to concentrate efforts on the most important areas. Advanced collaboration, which fosters a shared understanding and purpose among employees. Better decision making, which guides resources allocation and ensures alignment with strategic goals. Increased efficiency, streamlines operations and improves resource utilization. Adaptability enables the organization to respond effectively to changing circumstances. Next. The fundamental purpose of strategic planning is to align a company's mission and with its vision. Without mission and vision, the plan is a vacuum and the mission is the starting point for planning. The vision is the destination and strategic plan is the roadmap that helps you navigate from one to the other. Some questions to consider. Ask yourself, what do you want to accomplish and what measures must we make to achieve our goals? Another question is, what additional knowledge, skills, or resources will you require to achieve your strategic goals? Can anyone name a company or organization with a strong vision that has led to its success? Anyone could answer this one. That's okay if no one answers. We have some examples of some companies and organizations later on in the presentation that we will describe. And last question, what is a strategy? What do you need to do to win our market? Strategy is a long-term plan outlining how a company will achieve its goals and gain a competitive edge by understanding the market, identifying opportunities, and leveraging strengths. It's a roadmap for decision making and resource allocation, ensuring all parts of the organization work towards a shared objective. Next slide, please. Another question we would ask is, what is strategic planning? Strategic planning is the ability to guide an organization towards a long-term success by setting a vision, making strategic decisions, and adapting to change environment while also focusing on short-term goals. The levels of strategic planning are with level 1, which includes corporate level strategy of what businesses we are in. Level 2, which is the business level strategy, which asks how do we compete. Level 3, which is function level strategy, which asks how do we support the businesses level competitive strategy. What is vision on strategic planning? Vision and strategic planning are interconnected process where vision outlines the organization desires, set future state, while strategic planning creates a roadmap to achieve that vision through defined goals and actions. What do you think would happen if an organization didn't have a clear strategy? What would impact the employees and customers? Anyone? If there's no one, we'll just move on to the other slide. Another question is, what are the 4 P's of strategic leadership? As a leader, this could be you too. This is an issue of perception, process, people, and projection. In truth, it is all 4. Another question, what is the essence of strategic leadership? The strategic leadership needed in the 21st century films is involved with building company resources and capabilities with an emphasis on intangible human capital and social capital. Human capital is the firm's repository of valuable knowledge and skills. Social capital provides access to critical resources. A famous quote from Peter Dunker is, the best way to predict the future is to create it. Next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, sorry. How can an organization leverage strategic planning to actively shape the future and not just react to it, aligning its actions with clear vision to create a desired outcome? This question encourages a proactive approach to strategic planning, emphasizing the power of intentionally and vision in shaping the future. The quote from Peter Dunker reinforces this idea, highlighting the importance of taking ownership and creating the future you envision. And the quote from Peter Dunker states, strategy is about making choices. Ethics ensure we make the right ones. Next slide, please. Now I'll pass you over to my other group member, Marcelo, to take over from Leadership Vision.
Thank you. So, leadership vision. Have you ever noticed how the most successful leaders and companies seem to have a clear idea of where they're going? That's because they have a vision. A vision isn't just a vague dream, it's a powerful, motivating picture of the future. Today, I'm going to break down what makes a strong leadership vision and why it's so important. Key elements of a vision. Firstly, a great vision is both ambitious and credible. It pushes boundaries but is still realistic. Take Stanford R. Ovshinsky, for example. He completely changed solar energy production because he had a bold vision for the future. Or think about Sony in the 1950s. At that time, Japanese products had a reputation of being of low quality, but Sony set out to change that, and today they're now one of the biggest names in electronics. A vision should inspire and motivate. One of the best examples, Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. He didn't just talk about problems, he painted a picture of what a better future could look like, and that's what actually moved people to action. Simplicity and clarity. A vision doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, the best ones are simple and easy to remember. Coca-Cola once had a vision of putting a Coke within arm's reach of everyone on the planet. And Komatsu, a construction equipment company, had a clear goal, encircle Caterpillar, which basically meant when they wanted to compete with and surpass their biggest rival. These short, catchy visions help keep people focused. But a vision isn't just a nice statement. It has to align with core values. It should guide decisions and shape a long-term strategy. If a company or leader strays too far from their vision, they lose direction. What vision does. So why does a vision matter? The strong vision connects today with tomorrow, gives employees meaning in their work, motivates them to push forward, and sets a standard for excellence. Think about any successful company or movement. There's always a clear vision behind it. Now, let me ask you something. What do you think makes a great leader? Is it their personality, their intelligence, or their ability to actually inspire others? I'd like to hear your thoughts. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. Common themes of vision. When you look at the most effective visions, they tend to have a few things in common. They appeal to a broad group of people, they help organizations navigate change, they create hope for the future, they reflect high ideals, and they provide both a destination and a roadmap to get there. I'll now move on to mission. A mission statement defines the core purpose of a company, its values, and why it exists, beyond just making profits. It's not just a fancy phrase on a website. It's the foundation for decision making and a guiding framework for employees and stakeholders. So, what makes a strong mission statement? There are a few key aspects. Firstly, it defines purpose and identity. A mission statement explains why the organization exists. Take Genentech, for example. Their mission isn't just about making biotech products, it's about using biotechnology to improve human health. That's their why. Secondly, it provides stability. Unlike a vision statement, which can evolve over time, a mission statement remains consistent. It's like the backbone of a company. It keeps everything aligned and grounded. Thirdly, it acts like a sort of North Star. It helps guide strategy and decision making. Leaders use it to align actions, resources, and priorities with the company's long-term goals. It also ensures that every department and employee understands how their role contributes to the bigger picture. And finally, it inspires and motivates employees. When employees connect with the mission, they feel a stronger sense of purpose and belonging. A great example is Google. Their mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. That's not just a goal, it's something that drives everything they do. Now, some people confuse a mission with a vision. So here's a quick way to remember the difference. A mission is about what we do now, our core purpose, values, and our role in society. A vision is where we want to go in the future, our aspirational goal. When crafted well, a mission statement strengthens an organization's culture, aligns strategic actions, and sets the foundation for long-term success. It's not just words, it's what drives an organization forward. Next, I'll move on to strategy and action. So we just talked about mission, what an organization stands for and why it exists. But having a mission alone isn't enough. You need a clear plan to bring that mission to life. That's where strategy comes in. Strategy is about making intentional choices to move toward a goal. It's how leaders turn ideas into action. Today, we'll look at how great leaders develop and implement strategy to drive success. Key aspects of strategy in action. Deciding where to go. Leaders analyze market trends, competition, and internal capabilities. They set clear goals that align with the organization's vision and mission. Secondly, deciding how to get there. Leaders choose the best strategic approach, example, innovation, cost leadership, or differentiation. They ensure the right resources, teams, and processes are in place to execute the strategy effectively. Lastly, implementing the strategy. Aligning organizational structure, culture, and incentives with the strategic plan. ensuring leaders and employees are engaged and understand their roles, using metrics and feedback systems to measure progress and make necessary adjustments. Now, let's hear from someone who mastered strategy, Steve Jobs. This clip gives insight how he managed people and drove Apple's strategy forward.
Keys to Apple is Apple's an incredibly collaborative company. And so, you know how many committees we have at Apple?
No.
0. We have no committees.
No committees.
We are organized like a startup. One person's in charge of iPhone OS software. One person's in charge of Mac hardware. One person's in charge of iPhone hardware engineering. Another person's in charge of worldwide marketing. Another person's in charge of operations. We're organized like a startup. We're the biggest startup on the planet. And we all meet for 3 hours once a week, and we talk about everything we're doing, the whole business. And there's tremendous teamwork at the top of the company, which filters down to tremendous teamwork throughout the company. And teamwork is dependent on trusting the other folks to come through with their part without watching them all the time, but trusting that they're going to come through with their parts. And that's what we do really well. And we're great at figuring out how to divide things up into these great teams that we have and all work on the same thing, touch bases frequently, and bring it all together into a product. We do that really well. And so what I do all day is meet with teams of people and work on ideas and solve problems to make new products, to make new marketing programs, whatever it is.
And are people willing to tell you you're wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, other than snarky journalists. I mean, people that work
for... No, we have wonderful arguments.
And do you win them all? Or?
Oh, no, I wish I did. No, see, you can't. If you want to hire great people and have them stay working for you, you have to let them make a lot of decisions, and you have to be run by ideas, not hierarchy. The best ideas have to win. So, otherwise, good people don't stay.
But you must be more than a facilitator who runs meetings. You obviously contribute your own ideas.
I contribute ideas, sure. Well, why would I be there if I didn't?
I have one more video. Let's look at another perspective on leadership and strategy. Simon Sinek explains why vision matters and how great leaders like Steve Jobs and the Wright brothers used to inspire action.
How do you explain when things don't go as we assume? Or better, how do you explain when others are able to achieve things that seem to defy all of the assumptions? For example, why is Apple so innovative? Year after year after year after year, they're more innovative than all their competition. And yet they're just a computer company. They're just like everyone else. They have the same access to the same talent, the same agencies, the same consultants, the same media. Then why is it that they seem to have something different? Why is it that Martin Luther King led the civil rights movement? He wasn't the only man who suffered in a pre-civil rights America, and he certainly wasn't the only great orator of the day. Why him? And why is it that the Wright brothers were able to figure out controlled powered manned flight when there were certainly other teams who were better qualified, better funded, and they didn't achieve powered manned flight, and the Wright brothers beat them to it? There's something else at play here. About 3.5 years ago, I made a discovery. And this discovery profoundly changed my view on how I thought the world worked, and it even profoundly changed the way in which I operate in it. As it turns out, there's a pattern. As it turns out, all the great and inspiring leaders and organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way. And it's the complete opposite to everyone else. All I did was codify it. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out.
So I'll pause the video here because it's quite long, and I will send the link in the group chat for if anybody wants to see the entire thing. So based on what we just watched, why do you think having a strong vision is so important for leadership? Well, basically, a strong vision keeps everyone on the same page and working toward a common goal. Without it, changes can feel directionless. And one more question. From this example, how do you think a leader ensures that strategy is successfully carried out? Okay, leaders make sure a strategy actually happens by getting the right people involved, communicating the plan clearly, and adjusting when things don't go as expected. So I'll now hand you over to Sydney to speak on the leader's contribution.
Thank you, Marcelo. The leader's contribution. A leader's contribution goes beyond just managing people and operations. It involves shaping the vision, culture, strategy, and long-term success of an organization. Below is a detailed breakdown of how leaders contribute to their role. Number one, defining and communicating vision. One of the primary contributions of a leader is setting a clear and compelling vision that provides direction for the organization. A strong vision inspires and aligns employees towards a common goal, motivates action and commitment by making the future seem achievable, and provides long-term direction that guides strategic decisions. Example, John F. Kennedy's vision of landing a man on the moon set a bold goal for NASA, driving innovation and teamwork towards its achievement. Leaders must not only define a vision, but also effectively communicate it through storytelling making the vision relatable and inspiring. Symbolic actions, leading by example to reinforce the message, and consistent messaging, repeating the vision across different platforms. Next slide. Strategic thinking and decision making. Strategic leaders anticipate future challenges and opportunities to position their organizations for success. Their contributions include analyzing market trends and adjusting strategies accordingly, making informed decisions based on data, experience, and intuition, balancing short-term and long-term priorities to sustain growth. Example, Elon Musk's leadership at Tesla and SpaceX reflects his ability to think ahead and make bold strategic choices that redefine industries. Next slide. Driving change and innovation. Leaders play a critical role in guiding organizations through change and ensuring adaptability. Contributions include encouraging a culture of innovation where employees feel safe to experiment, removing barriers to change by fostering open communication, and implementing strategies for transformation such as digital advancement or structural shifts. Examples: Jeff Bezos' continuous innovation at Amazon, where he transformed the company from an online bookstore to a global technology and retail giant. Next slide. The impact of a leader extends far beyond the immediate responsibilities. A leader influences organizational success, employee engagement, culture, and long-term sustainability. Their impact is seen in the way they shape vision, drive performance, inspire people, and create lasting change. Below is a comprehensive breakdown of how a leader's impact defines the leadership role. Number one, establishing direction and vision. One of the greatest impacts a leader has a setting a clear and compelling vision for the organization. A well-defined vision aligns efforts, creates focus, and ensures long-term strategic success. Without vision, organizations can drift immensely, reacting instead of proactively shaping their future. Number two, influencing organizational culture and values. A leader's action, behaviors, and decisions define an organization's culture, ethics, and working environment. Leaders impact culture through strong relationship, creates a positive culture, which increases employee satisfaction, retention, and overall performance. A weak or toxic culture can lead to disengagement, high turnover, and ethical failures. Next slide. Number three, driving employee engagement and performance. A leader's impact is most visible in how they motivate and engage employees. Effective leaders and engaged employees are more productive, committed, and innovative. A disengaged workforce leads to low morals, inefficiency, and decreased performance. Number four, driving change and innovation. Leaders have a profound impact on the organization's ability to adapt, innovate, and evolve. Organizations led by change-ready leaders stay ahead of competitors and are more resilient in uncertain environments. Leaders who resist change cause Leaders who resist change cause stagnation and decline. Next slide. Number five, building trust and credibility. Trust is the foundation of effective leadership. Trustworthy leaders create loyalty, commitment, and credibility. Without trust, organizations face low morale, resistance to leadership, and high employee turnover. Number six, ensuring long-term organizational success. The greatest impact of a leader is the ability to ensure sustainable success beyond their tenure. Sustainable leadership protects organizations from leadership vacuums and instability. Short-sighted leadership can lead to crisis, financial ruin, and organizational collapse. Next slide. Finally, the conclusion, and I want to go off script a bit. As a lover of philosophy, we can say that leadership is both an art and a philosophy. It is the ability to envision a future that does not yet exist and inspire others to build it. The ancient Greeks spoke of telos, the idea that everything has a purpose or an ultimate goal. And I believe that everything happens for a reason. A leader's vision is that guiding force, giving direction and meaning not only to organizations, but to the individuals within them. However, vision alone is not enough. Just as in life, where dreams remain unrealized without action, strategy is what transforms ideals into reality. Ethics keeps the journey aligned with values, reminding us that that leadership is not just about reaching a destination, but about how we get there. And in an ever-changing world, adaptability is not just a business strategy. It is a life skill that helps us grow through uncertainty. In the end, leadership is deeply personal. Whether we realize it or not, we are all leaders in some way, guiding our families, shaping our communities, or even just leading ourselves towards the lives we want to live. So the question isn't just about what makes a great leader, but rather how will we lead in our own lives. And before I completely finish our presentation, I want to, on behalf of my group and I, we want to apologize on the hiccup that we had this morning, as well as we put out some polls in the group chat. As you all can see, it takes a couple seconds to fill them out, so kindly please do fill them out. And this has been Sydney Sampson, Marcelo Hart, and Stefan Jaru. We thank you for listening to our presentation.